Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US Indices for the 31st of August. Starting with the Nasdaq today, we're going to look at the Nasdaq, then a couple of Nasdaq stocks, and then the S&P. So in this instance here, we're looking from wave 2 here to wave 3 here. We're looking for 5 waves within that sequence, so 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and going up in here to 5 here. So we should see at some point across the 12,000, we should see some type of correction before moving higher here. So also what we're looking at here as well is with the 12,000, we're at resistance here. So we need it as support. And for that to occur, we normally look at a classic trading levels pattern, which looks a little bit like this. So we call if this is the 12,000, the arrival, the reaction which we've had, and we're expecting a push higher, and then a corrective move, and then back over here. So the idea is really either it's only a small wave 4, so what we can do is accommodate the swing within this in this move, or you can get out here or here, and then we'll look to get back in over here, or perhaps even here, if we can identify very clearly that we have this structure completed at that point in time. That's the NASI, and let's look at what I've been sort of looking at is this is Amazon here, and with Amazon here, not to worry about this, which wave 4 this is here at the moment. That may all change, but we just focus on what focus on this current trend here. So as I've been over before, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And we've probably got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So we'll be pushing up to the next level here, which will also be the 3,500 here. It's pretty the same as the S&P. Still have wave 4 and wave 5. So all I can say with this market is that it's bullish. It's not finished yet. So that means that the S&P and the Nasdaq have all got higher to climb as well, because obviously these guys help create that trend. And this will be the same for Alphabet as well. This is just the weekly chart here, but yeah, while we're here, wave 3 over here, an A and a B and a C for the B wave, down for the C wave for wave 4, and then we're looking for wave 1 to the upside and wave 2, and we're not here in that space just yet for that. Let me just clean this up a little bit here. So I could probably count this a different way as well, but while we are seeing impulse waves to the upside, we just keep counting sets of 5 waves. So we can count 1 and 2 here. We can also count 1 and 2 here. If you've got a keen eye, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and then the other one here. So it does make 5 waves within the structure. But we could also label this wave 1 as well, but it's too early to do that. So I'm very conservative, as you may know. So we look for 5 waves, and once those 5 waves have been passed, then we move on to the next structure. So in this case here, we could count 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So we could also label that with a big wave 1 here, for example, just as an example, because we've got 5 waves here. But then we've taken out the top here with a very small wave 2. So it's possible to do that, and we will look at that. But the main point here is taking out the top here, or looking at an impulse wave here. Then we have to relabel it and move up to the next level. So this is all I'm doing at this particular point. But yeah, that could certainly be wave 1 here, but it could be counted in different ways. So all I'm interested in is the trend that we're actually trading in most part. And that's where our focus should be in this day. And this is the 1500 is a medium level, and so is this level here, 1650 here. So we should see a bit of a dance across here, but the trend is still to the upside there as well. So I'll just see where I am. I don't know what intraday charts I've been using here. So So with this here, don't worry about this wave 4 here, because it also may be, or this wave 3, because it may be wave 1 here. back for 2 here. But like I said, we're focused on this trend here, and it still has further to go here. But like I mentioned, there will be a bit of a dance across the 1650. So we've had the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then we'll have a correction, and then we'll move up there higher for that. I do have this on the tick chart, but I won't go into it that much. You can really see what's sort of occurring here. So eventually this will be sitting over here as support here. But the takeaway here is that this market is still has further to move to the upside. What else can we look at here? Facebook. This is kind of interesting because I may have to change this count because we've got 1 here and 2 here, and well, let's just go all the way up to wave 3 here, ABC for wave 4 here, then 1 and 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the 3rd wave here, 4th wave here, and the 5th wave here. This has probably still got one more little push to go in through here. But once we get that high here, for example, and then if I see a corrective pattern that's occurring here, well, that corrective pattern is going to tell me that we're not finished to the upside here yet. So then I will need to, because we've gone past the 5 waves, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, and let's just say we're getting a small correction here, and then we're going to go higher here. Well, then I need to relabel this structure here, this whole structure here. So we'll probably have to do that based on what I can see with Google and Alphabet and so on. So, it's not that, yes, I do have the wrong count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 probably, but it's just my way of working forward. That's all, one step at a time, one wave at a time, one trade at a time, that sort of thing, and just keep methodically moving forward based on the evidence, because if you make big calls too early on and they don't pan out, well, your trades might be aligned with that as well, and that's not such a good thing. So with that in mind, let's just move on to the SP 500. So with the S&P 500, I've adjusted this, and this can still be counted in different ways as well, but we looked at this early last week, and looking at it as wave 1 here, because we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, ABC here for wave 2, so that makes sense. We can also look at this up here as wave 1 and 2 here, and the thing about this particular trend here, it's just, it's on a run, isn't it? It's just sort of in a very sort of minute way. We're not seeing any really powerful moves, but it's just sort of like a caterpillar in a hurry. It's just really moving along quite swiftly in its own little way. So we'll run with that, and this is what we looked at last week here for this, and there's other ways to count this as well. Yeah, I suppose we could have a look at that. The other way of looking at this is, let me just see if I've got it here. Not this one, that was our original one. This one here is quite interesting as well, where we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, and call that wave 1 and that wave 2, and then call all of this as wave 3 here for this. So this fits and works as well within all of this. Within all of this. So I keep these other counts in mind, and I'm always sort of searching and looking and moving and grooving with it. But at the same time, to make money, and that's what we're really doing here, is to understand what we're working with within this particular space. So I'm going to go to the 4-hour chart and then drill in from that. So looking at it from here, I'm just looking at this as wave 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. There's one thing that we've just got to watch out with this particular count here. The weak spot would be that, well, from wave 2 to wave 3 there, that needs to be longer than wave 1 here. So in this instance, if we took this low here roughly and this one here, and that's our distance there, and then move that to the low of wave 2 here. We really need to be equal to or above this this level here for this, so that's 3,555 in here. So we'll keep an eye on that, because if that falls short, then we'll need to relabel that as well. But I think we've done quite a good job in just, you know, counting all the little structures up in this space here. Now, I also counted 5 waves up into this space here, but I can see that we've got another move coming in above my 5 waves, so I've had to adjust this little move here as well. So it's quite clear from this low, that is the low there, we could look at that as wave 1 and 2 here, and then we need to look at this, the next move here. I counted it as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to here, but then we've got this other move in here. So now we'd need to look at this as 1 and 2 here, and then look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the top of the 3rd wave, 4th wave and 5th wave here. So it kind of opens up a little bit further, and this is it here. So from this wave 4 here, we've got 1 and 2 here, and I had this as wave 3 before, but now we need to look at it as wave 1 here and 2 here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for wave 3 here, wave 4 here. It's good, you could look, based on what I'm looking at here, I can put wave 4 over here, by the way. But that doesn't, the cash market, the physical market on the SPX does count this up here quite nicely as an impulse wave, where here it could count as an A wave, an A and a B and a C for the B wave, and down for the C wave here. So I'll go with the cash market, but we're still looking at this moving up here further for wave 3 here. One of the things here too is, because we're at 35 here, which is a minor trading level, and then we've got subgroup 1 above, which is 10, 20 and 30, and then we've got group 2 below here. So the first thing that I always consider if I'm going to leave a trade in through all of this here is I must be able to accommodate the swings within this range here. So if the 72 or the 65 here become the retested resistance, then I need to be out of that trade, because we would be looking for the market to come down further in a bigger correction. So this group 2 is really significant. It is important. Okay, the top here with group 1 here, 10, 20 and 30, they normally slow the market down, and we would see the market normally you know, move up into this space here, and then start correcting within this space here, and then moving up again from that point there. So if, however, if we get support on top of group 1 here, the 3, 5, 30 here, then the market's going to leave this number here, and it's going to be looking at the next level up, which is the midpoint, the 50 here. So one important point here, trading above this here doesn't constitute support here. So we need a classic trading levels pattern like we're seeing here, but a smaller version of that sitting on the level here, and that normally vibrates down to the 2. So we would see down to the 2 here, up here, down here, back to the 2 or something, and then up from that point. So it really needs to stay above the 2. It can come down to 1.5 and then move up, but if it finds the 2 as a resistance, then it's going to be pulled down to 35 at that point. So unless it does this here on top of group 1 here, then the market can just continue up from that point. So that's what we're looking for in this run here, or in a pullback, and then this area over here for this. So as a count, 1 and 2 here, and then all the way up here for wave 3 here. This needs to finish off here. We can look at that in a moment. Then wave 4, and then wave 5 to the upside here. So we should be roughly positive through the week, and we'll, you know, as long as we don't get this 63465 as a retested resistance. Okay, anything above that, you need to accommodate the swings. We're at a big number here. 5 is the second strongest number, so we should see some sort of swings around in this area here. So it's something that you'll need to accommodate on that. On the 15-minute chart, just to have a look at this little trend up from the low here. I was counting it like this here. You can see here that we've got 1 and 2 here, and then we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for this. So this will, so we'll just see something like this here, and something there for that, and that would make 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for this little guy here. Then wave 4 can come back here, and wave 5 can come up to here, wave 5 of 3 here, and then wave 4 coming back into this space. Well, it can come back to this wave 4 here, so I'll just leave it there at that particular point, but that's sort of where that is at the moment. And you can see how I can look at this as an A wave here, and then a B wave here, and a C wave here for this. It doesn't really make a lot of difference, because if all I could do here is put wave 4 over here for that, but I'd still need to see 5 waves here to finish off. So it's not really going to make a lot of difference. There will be an extra wave in there, but not a big difference in that point. So what you're looking for here is staying long, and look to see if we find support on this level here. So don't worry about the wave count too much. It's more about, do we get a small classic trading levels pattern sitting on this level here, the arrival here, the reaction here, can spike down to 1.5, and then move up here, and then come back here and find 2 again, and then move up, and then you're looking for that one here for that. So and then if this occurs, then you know that the market's not going to be pulled by this number here. But if the 2 here becomes the retested resistance here, or even here, then you'll know it's being pulled back pulled back down at that point there. So I'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Cheers.